Hey you guys, and welcome back to another video here at Anxiety Awakening, your go-to channel for everything anxiety, panic attack, depression, insomnia, you name it, related. So my name's Emmy Lou. If you haven't watched the introduction video or you're new to this channel, I suggest you go and watch that now. There's so much good content, and this is all from my own experience, and I just want to utilise my own experience to help others who suffer in silence. Right, so today's video, and this is one huge major factor I feel. If you suffer with anxiety, panic, insomnia, and you're easily stressed and you have overthinking thoughts, it is so important to have the right morning routine and the right evening routine. Super duper important and crucial to your mental well-being, because if your mental well-being's gone crappy, then your physical well-being suffers, your whole life suffers, everything about everything suffers. So one massive thing for me, which I've been playing around with over the last few years, is my morning routine and my evening routine. And I just wanted to share with you guys what my morning routine looks like and what my evening routine looks like, and how it helps me with anxiety, insomnia and overthinking. So first things first, people like to get up in the morning, don't they? Look at the phone, you start scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you start reading emails, texts. Cut that out completely. What you need to do in the morning is create your mindset, create your intentions for that day, and create the way you want to feel for that day. So you need to block out 2 hours in the morning before you even speak to anybody or do anything. So if you are a full-time jobber, a full-time mom, a full-time dad, etc., you need to make sure that you set your alarm so you have that time for yourself before the day begins. So my morning routine consists of, I wake up, I set my alarm for 4:40 in the morning. Now I'm massively into my spiritual development and angel numbers, so 4:40 is the time my alarm goes off. Before I even think about the day, I start a 30-minute morning meditation. So while I'm still half asleep, I put my headphones on, pick which one I want to do, and I get myself comfortable and I really get into the meditation. Now if you're new to meditation, it really does take practice, and do not give up. Do not give up. It takes practice. It took me 6 years to get to the state of meditation I can get into, because I've practiced so much. So guys, it's so worth it in the long run. So I do my 30-minute morning meditation. After that, I listen to some frequency healing. So I'm going to do another video on this, but there's a lot of different hertz, frequency hertz, HZ, not HERTZ. There's a lot of different frequency hertz that can really help with the wiring of your brain, the wiring of your subconscious, your nervous system. So I do 4 frequency healings after my morning meditation. They're all about 3 to 5 minutes each. So after I've done them, then I get up, and I still haven't looked at my phone, I still haven't looked at my text, still haven't looked at my WhatsApps, social media, anything. Then I get up and I take my vitamins, my supplements, I have a morning drink, like a salt flush. I use raw apple cider vinegar. Sorry, I can't say vinegar properly. The juice of 1 lemon, some Himalayan salt in a pint of filtered water, and I have that with my supplements. Then now I've started doing a lot of EFT tapping, which is emotional freezing technique. Now I am going to qualify in this, because this is something I feel will greatly benefit this channel and my followers and whoever watches this channel. So I'll be doing a lot of, once I've qualified, EFT tapping videos going forward. So I do a lot of 10 minutes, say, EFT tapping, and this is to create, what EFT tapping does is it rewires your subconscious through tapping different points on your body. So it's basically like rewiring your brain, which I find really helpful. Then after that, I listen to some light language transmissions, I don't know if you've ever heard about light language, do your own research on it, but it is also a way of spiritually rewiring your subconscious and getting into a higher vibrational state. So the whole point in my morning routine is to raise my vibration and my nervous system reset before I even speak to anybody, because I find a lot of outside sources and a lot of outside influences is what triggers anxiety. So you've got to put the work in, you've got to do the work on yourself and find what works for you. So my morning routine basically consists of all of that before I do anything, and I then have my pre-workout meal, and then I go to the gym. And I think if you suffer with anxiety, overthinking, insomnia, stress, it's so important to exercise. I find exercising first thing in the morning works best for me. It sets me up for the day. I feel like I've accomplished something as soon, like, you know, before I even start the day. And I could fit all this in when I was in my 9 to 5. I used to get up at 4:40, and I'd be able to fit all this in before I went to work. So it's very possible. You've just got to be disciplined and put the work in, okay? So that is a winning morning routine. It's my winning morning routine, but I'm just here to give you a guide on what you can explore and try out for yourself. But you've got to create that time for you. Let's talk about evening routines. So, evening routine, super duper important, especially if you're like me, you overthink and you suffer with insomnia. You either find it difficult to fall asleep because your brain's working overtime, or you wake up a few hours after you fell asleep and your brain starts working overtime. So I've got a really strict rule, and there's a lot of people, and you have to set boundaries with this one, especially if you've got a partner, a boyfriend, girlfriend that you don't live with. Even if you do live with them, you've got to set boundaries. So my boundary is, when I first meet anyone or speak to anybody new, I do not speak to anyone after 6 p.m. Nobody. My phone goes on silent, I put it on charge next to my bed, and I put it face down. And I will not speak to anybody after 6 p.m. because I find if you keep on scrolling through social media, you keep on speaking to people, your brain's too aroused, it's hyperactivity. You need that time to settle and have that time for yourself. So regardless of what's going on that day or what's happened that day, I don't care if there's an emergency with somebody, my phone goes down at 6 p.m. I'm putting myself first and my mental health and my well-being first. So that's my first tip. Find a time that suits you, put your phone down, and do not speak to anybody. Do not look on social media, do not read emails, just the second tip I've got is magnesium glycinate. So magnesium glycinate helps with the nervous system and can help with insomnia. And a lot of people who suffer with anxiety and overthinking suffer with insomnia. It's just part of the game. It's part of the domino effect. So I would suggest investing in a good magnesium glycinate. You can get them from eBay or Amazon. I personally buy mine from Nutrition Geeks on eBay. There's a lot of brands out there, but that's just my personal favourite. They do like a 3 to 4 in 1 magnesium complex, and the glycinate is the one that's so important to help relax you before bed. Also, have some chamomile tea. No caffeine after 11 a.m, by the way. Have some chamomile tea or some mugwort. So mugwort is a herb, and when it's put into a muslin bag or a tea strainer and you brew it for like 10 minutes, it can really have a calming effect on you. It can also make you have really good dreams as well. So that's a bonus. So my go-to is a chamomile tea and a mugwort tea before bed, and then I will set aside 1 to 2 hours before I know I've got to go to sleep, and I try and aim for 6 to 8 hours a night sleep. I can function on that so long as it's a deep sleep. So I set aside an hour, 2 hours. So after I put my phone down, after I've relaxed for a bit, maybe read a little bit of a book, feed the mind with positive stuff, relax the mind, have my mugwort tea, have my chamomile tea, then I will aim to go to bed. And I use fairy lights in my room, and I use my room and create it like a sanctuary. So it's my lovely little space yeah, your room's so important, and I spoke about this in another video called Your Environment and Anxiety, which you might want to go and watch, because that's super important to deal with all of this stuff. So I put my fairy lights on, I make sure I've got enough cold filtered water by the bed. You've got to stay hydrated, no matter what time of day it is. And I pick a favourite meditation to listen to, whether that be a frequency healing, whether it be a guided meditation. Like I said, guys, you've got to practice and find what works for you. Guided meditation I found quite hard at first, because I was concentrating on what the person was saying and then trying to do it, so it made me overthink. So I then went on to frequency, which I found put me like in almost like a trance state. There's loads of free stuff on YouTube, absolutely so many, like hundreds of thousands, millions. So you can practice and find what works for you. I aim to do this for 1.5 to 2 hours, and take some deep breaths, practice your techniques while you're doing your evening meditation, because that will help your nervous system calm down and help your mind settle and help your mind calm and stay still and quiet. So yeah, guys, usually if I stick to this religiously, I have the deepest sleep ever. I wake up, I feel amazing, and then obviously I start my morning routine, and nobody gets to look in until I have finished that morning routine. Nobody gets to look in before I start my evening routine. After that, it's all about you guys. Only you can heal yourself. Nobody else can heal you but yourself. Healing comes from within. Remember that, guys. So I love yous loads. I hope this video helps. Just wanted to give you some of my personal favourite tips and tricks for morning and evening routine, and also, like I've spoke about in other videos, cold showers. Okay guys, I love yous lots. I'll be back soon with more content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.